Wagwan. So I'm going to take the time to tell my story about growing up without my father present. And I'm going to talk about the lesson I learned, the single lesson of forgiveness. And I'm saying this having thought about it long and hard if I should share my story. And on the back end of Father's Day, I think that it is a story that can help and kind of give guidance and perspective to life, especially in a time and a context where we have a lot of single parent household and a lot of absentee fathers and stuff. So I remember the last time seeing my father or having a sense of my father's presence was when I was 3 years old, and at that time, you probably don't have a grasp of life and reality, and that was my last experience. So after that, I started to, well, gain sense or knowledge, and I used to play football, cricket, and in high school I also played basketball. But while in primary school, I remember having to tell lies about my father being present in my life and stuff, because my friends would boast of their father and things like that. And it didn't really hurt me much, but I remember having to kind of shadow a lie to kind of, not feel any way about my father being absent. And then went to high school, and my opening partner, who was Christopher Powell at the time, in cricket that is, we used to open together, and his father was always present at his games. And I used to look into myself and have a longing to want my father to be present at least one of my games. At that time, we didn't really have any communication or anything like that. I just knew that he was abroad, or at times I'll hear that he visited Jamaica. And my story was like that throughout high school, and overall through my teens and stuff. My father was absent. When I was 19, and I think the first year of college, uh, I got my father's number from my uncle. But between that time and then, I was growing with my grandmother and my mother and all of that family, situation. And in the midst of it, at that young age, I was learning about what forgiveness means. And I started to embrace it, not knowing that it would help me at the time when I met my father. Another side of it, before I come back to when I was 19, is that I also found out that I had sisters, that I did not know about and stuff. And, it's kind of, life is like that. And I met one of my sisters on Facebook, and we talked, and out of that, we kind of formed a relationship, knowing that we have the same father and stuff. And then when I was 19 now, having gotten my father's number from my uncle, that is his brother, I called my father for the first time from I was age 3. So -3 from 19, that's really 16 years of absence. And that was the first conversation I had with him, having since having gone through, my teenage years and stuff, having the desires of him being present at my games and all of that, and him not being there. But I learned the lesson of forgiveness, and the first conversation we had, I literally, without budge, said to him that I want a fresh start. I want to just start a new relationship with you and stuff. And I believe the following year, I went to the States just to visit my aunt and have the experience of, traveling and thing. And I was in Brooklyn at the time, and my sisters were living in Bronx. And I remember being home alone, and my auntie gave me a Metro card, and I said, why not just try to go and visit my sisters? And I communicated with them, and we said that we'd go to Manhattan and meet up and do whatever. And the long and short of it is, without any network on my phone, depending on public Wi-Fi, I said, yo, I'm going to go. And I went, and a gentleman on the subway took like 15 minutes or so to help me to get out because I did not know where I was going. And then I got a call from someone else on the main, and I, you know, met up with my sisters kind of haphazard. I don't even know how to explain the beauty behind how we met. And I called my father on my sister's phone, and he was like, where did he did not know that we were linking up. So I called him, and I could sense, that I don't know if it's peace or emptiness or whatever the emotion is. I just sensed that from him when I spoke on the phone with him, and the surprise as well to know that we are connected. And then now I remember, I think a few years after that, because normally I would play cricket in the summers in the States, ended up meeting my father and spending about 2 weeks or so by him. And I ended up joining a team in his state. And the wish I had from a long time ago actually came to fruition. The wish of having him turning up at one of my games. So this situation now, I went to the game. It was a Sunday morning. I can't forget it. I went to the game, well, my game, and he went to another game that he was umpiring at. Because interestingly, we both love cricket. And, he went to his game to umpire, and I went to my game to play. And I was on the field at the time, and I could see the far entrance of the venue that we were playing at. And I saw a car pulling, and I had a flash of like all the information that I would want to know. It just happened to my mind in a flash. And what happened there was that I could tell that it was him that is coming. I could tell that his game got rained out, and also the wish I had that he would be at one of my games when I was playing to at least support me, cheer me on, or just be present, which was a longing that I had as a youth. And so the thought was that was the situation. And he turned up at my game, and boy, I literally cried on the field. I did not cry that he's I don't think anybody saw me crying, but I cried. And having gotten a chance to bowl while he was there, and he was telling me kind of where to bowl the ball. That was monumental. That was a memory that for me will last a lifetime. And then on top of that, at the same time, when I was by him, my grandfather was present as well, and my grandmother. And that made it even more unique that the generation of families were present for the moment. I'm not even sure the depth or even the understanding that they have as to what these moments meant to me, but it just started something new. And I have learned to not feel any remorse or regret as to what happened in my past life of him not being present. And then now, the joy even came greater last year. That's 2022 Christmas, when he came to Jamaica. And me having been a man now, grow, working, making life, me picking him up at the airport, taking him to get fruits, in the island breeze, going back home to where grandma is, and all of that jazz, and taking him out to eat, and we dine, and we just laugh and vibe, and visit his friends, his old friends, and showing him that I can fly the drone, showing him my skill set, my ability to speak, all of that, sharing that moment was special to me. And it is part of my story. And I've learned out of all of it to not hold him up in my heart or to let it feel bad, but giving him an opportunity, even in his absence previously, to be a father to me and to be present in my life, and just connecting like that. And that moment and those moments for me are something that I'll treasure for my life. And I just want to say to him, big up on Father's Day. You have been there from 2013 till now. You've been present, and we have built a relationship, and I just want to say I appreciate you, and bless up. And for everybody else out there, you know I don't know what the kind of relationship you have with your father, specifically those whose father is absent in their life for a lifetime. I'm not saying that my story can be yours, but at least do it for yourself, to let go of the pain, to let go of the hurt, to let go of the you know the emotions that can stop you even from progressing in your own individual life separate from your father being absent. And you can make of what you want of this message or this story or my story, but I hope that it helps you in your own time and your own journey. So I just wanted to share that story, and I will keep the joy, and I just continue to build on the relationship that we have started personally with my father. And until next time, bless up.